Hi Hunters, Title Update 3 is closing in, and with it comes the long-awaited Final Fantasy collaboration monster, Omega Planetes. While Capcom hasn't shown us new mechanics just yet, we did get some solid details, the timing of the next presentation where more will be revealed, and some sneak peeks at the weapon loadouts used during the live demo fight against Omega. In this video, we'll go over everything we know so far, what these loadouts tell us, and what we can expect as we prepare for this massive crossover hunt. Capcom has officially confirmed that hunters will get their first hands-on experience with Omega Planetes at Tokyo Game Show 2025. The special demo will be available on the show floor, giving players a chance to test their skills against the Final Fantasy collaboration boss for the very first time. The main broadcast for Monster Hunter Wilds Title Update 3 is scheduled for September 24th, 2025 at 2300 Japan time. Depending on your time zone, that could mean very late into the night or extremely early morning. For me, it lands at around 10 p.m. local time. During this broadcast, we'll most likely be getting the full TU3 trailer, with Omega Planetes as the star of the show. But personally, I'm hoping Capcom has a surprise waiting for us. After all, Title Update 2 gave us both Lagiacrus and the unexpected return of Steve. If TU3 only brings Omega, it might feel a little underwhelming by comparison. So here's the hoping Capcom has one more hidden monster up their sleeve for this big reveal. Then on September 27th from 11:40 to 12:40 Japan time, we'll have a very special event at Tokyo Game Show. Naoki Yoshida-san, the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, will be joining the Monster Hunter devs as a guest for a live gameplay demonstration of the Omega Planetes Hunt Quest. Seeing Yoshi-P himself team up with Capcom is already something to look forward to, and it's the first time we'll see Omega in action outside of teaser footage. On top of that, Capcom will also be revealing the winning entries for the original weapon and charm design contest. Personally, I've got my fingers crossed for the Peacock Gunlance. I love that design, and if it makes it in, it might just become my go-to layered weapon all the way until the end of Monster Hunter Wilds' life cycle. Next, let's talk about the weapon loadout that Capcom revealed for the demo hunt. This part is really interesting because it gives us some early clues about what kind of fight Omega Planetes might bring, and what hunters should expect when preparing their own builds. Now, keep in mind, this is purely my opinion based on the loadout that was shared with us. My thoughts here are just speculation, and things could definitely change once we actually see and experience the Omega fight in full. But for now, here's how I'm judging the loadout and what it could mean for us as hunters. As you can see from the translated weapon loadouts, there's already some very telling info about Omega. Most of the primary weapons are Lagiacrus weapons, which strongly suggests that Omega will be weak to thunder. That's great news because most hunters should already have their Lagi weapons farmed and ready. Now's the time to let them shine. But here's where it gets interesting: the secondary weapons. A lot of these are fire weapons, mainly Rathalos and Guardian Rathalos gear. This could indicate that Omega might have multiple phases, where weapon swapping will be key to keeping up your damage output. We also see a few paralysis weapons, like La Labarina, which suggests that status control could play an important role against Omega. The only big outlier is the Rathian Hunting Horn, which is traditionally brought for its strong healing support. That alone suggests the devs expect Omega's fight to put a lot of pressure on team survivability. And then there's the heavy bowgun using Steve's HBG. To me, that feels like a direct callback to Behemoth from Monster Hunter World, where one hunter would keep aggro to control the flow of the fight. This could hint that Omega may include a similar mechanic, with certain phases requiring you to stay aggressive in order to draw aggro and keep Omega's focus. Looking at the skills included in these weapon loadouts, there are some very clear warning signs. All of the guarding weapons come with both guard and guard up, and in some cases, they're even maxed out. This strongly suggests that Omega's attacks will either be unguardable without guard up, or that most, if not all, of its attacks will be multi-hitting, shredding through normal blocks. For the first time in Monster Hunter, we might actually see Guard Up 3 as a requirement, and honestly, that's going to break a lot of hunters, myself included. But that's not all. In addition to Guard and Guard Up, every build shown also has max level Evade Extender. To me, that screams that Omega will have one-shot attacks, the kind of moves that will cart you outright even if you're stacked with Guard and Guard Up. The devs are basically telling us you'll need both strong defense and extreme mobility just to survive what Omega is bringing. Next, let's talk about the armor skills we see across these loadouts. Fire resistance is everywhere. That alone tells us Omega is going to lean heavily on fire-based attacks, or that the signature laser beams we've seen deal fire damage and will likely inflict fire blight. The only exceptions here are the light bowgun and bow, which don't show fire resistance in their sets. We also see weakness exploit maxed out across the board, which is a huge clue. Despite Omega being a mechanical enemy, it does have weak points you can target to boost your affinity and keep your damage high. On top of that, some builds include Part Breaker, which could mean that hunters will need to break specific parts to progress the fight, or to weaken Omega's attacks in later phases. Then, looking at the supportive weapons like Hunting Horn, Sword and Shield, and Light Bowgun, all of them come with Wide Range 5. To me, that screams Omega is intended as a team-focused quest, maybe even leaning toward being unsoloable, similar to how Omega's fight is handled in Final Fantasy XIV. The rest of the skill spread is what you'd expect: Burst, Agitator, Latent Power, and a mix of utility and comfy skills to round out each build. When it comes to the mantles, most of them are clearly there for survivability, either helping you tank through Omega's hits, or giving you the tools to evade and get out of danger. What really stands out though, is that Capcom chose to showcase the defense values in the loadout information itself. That's a big hint. Defense is going to matter. So make sure to upgrade your armor to the maximum before even thinking about taking on Omega. Otherwise, you're going to drop like flies. A single sneeze from Omega will be enough to cart you. And that wraps up everything we know so far about Omega, from the revealed loadouts and upcoming event schedule. Remember, the big Title Update 3 broadcast is on September 24th at 2300 Japan time. And then on September 27th, we'll get the live Omega demo featuring Yoshi-P himself, along with the reveal of the weapon and charm design contest winners. For now, prep your Thunder gear, stack your fire resistance, and max out that defense, because Omega is shaping up to be one of the most punishing hunts we've seen in Monster Hunter Wilds. Also, I've just launched channel memberships. If you'd like to support me directly, consider joining. It really helps keep the hunts going strong. I'm still new to managing memberships, so I truly appreciate your patience and support as I figure things out. But what about you, hunters? Do you think Capcom will surprise us with another hidden monster reveal during TU3? And what are your thoughts on the loadouts? Do you agree with my takeaways, or do you see something different? Let me know down in the comments. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with your squad. Until next time, I'm Marneus, and I'll see you in the next hunt.